Live from Paradise Studios in Massapequa, New York, it's Unger the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude.
Tonight, Randy will be chatting with Magnitude sponsor Eileen Cohen-Reichman and actress Catalin Pota. Randy will also be reviewing the new films Outlaw King, The Christmas Chronicles, and Ralph Breaks the Internet with special guest critics Jennifer Covey and Nick Commando. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another fun edition of Unger the Radar, where we talk all things film, and we connect people and film one frame at a time. So I want to welcome my two guests today, very special guests on the couch today. We've got Magnitude sponsor, Miss Eileen Cohen-Reichman. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. And Miss Catalin Pota, actress. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much.
Oh, sure.
Great.
Yeah. So it's been a while, Eileen. How are things going with Magnitude?
Everything's great. Every few weeks, the CEOs come out with some new and exciting ways to help protect you against the Wi-Fi, the cell phone, the computers that we're all slaves to in this Wi-Fi world.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but especially here in this beautiful studio. For those of you who have not seen this before, we started out with necklaces, and this is kind of what they look like. This is one necklace called Harmony. This is one called Solo. Nice. And the cool thing is all the jewelry has the same protection, and it's interchangeable. This is a stone called a labradorite. This is a druzy quartz up here, and that's why we say you change your 2 to match your attitude.
Right.
And each of these necklaces have what's called a neodymium magnet. It's a very strong magnet. And basically what that does is puts, for lack of a better word, in superhero terms, or Star Trek terms, my favorite, a force field. Shields up, as they used to say.
Nice.
Because we're all neurological beings, what this does is puts a shield up around your body so that you're not absorbing all the
negative rays.
Exactly, all the electromagnetic frequency
Right.
coming off all these devices that we need to survive in today's world for work and for play. And the sad thing is that more and more it's been shown that the incidence of insomnia, brain cancer, skin disease, all these negative effects from people that are ultra sensitive or even slightly sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies.
Wow.
And what made me get involved, and Catalin will talk, she's involved in the company as well, but was reading an article, is either from the New England Journal of Medicine or the CDC, that said that in the last 5 years, the incidence of brain cancer in teenagers has increased by 25%.
Whoa.
And they pretty much attribute that to the use of cell phones.
Right. And video games too, I'm sure.
Well, video games as well, but mostly cell phones,
Okay.
because you're holding that up against your ear.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
besides the necklaces, Magnitude's come out with bracelets you wear on your wrist. They're also interchangeable. And scarf pins, which you just put, it looks like this. You just see the stone, it's very cool. It would look like that, and you would just see whatever pretty stone that you liked for the day.
Okay.
And what's even more amazing is we haven't forgotten about our fur babies. Now, for those of you who have out there who have dogs and cats, they are sensitive beings. And
Yes.
just like these necklaces you might have heard in the past, I've told you, besides the magnet, have far infrared energy, which help with circulation, negative ions, which help bring up your mood, and germanium, which helps with healing.
Nice.
We also have for dogs and cats. And here we have a little paw,
Oh.
a pink paw. You just hang it off the collar.
Great.
And we have a purple one. We also have black ones for
Nice.
boys, or for a dog that hasn't found his or her identity. We have little hearts to show how you love your dog or your cat.
Nice.
And as you see on the back, it has 2 far infrared bulbs because, as we know, our little fur babies has twice the many little legs as
Yes.
we do.
Oh.
And then we have
good.
one that looks like a little bone, that says love on it.
Oh,
And just to give you an idea, well, for the dogs and the cats, we don't change out the stones because they're just happy to be with us. You can get different stones, like here's another one. This is a turquoise heart. And here's for Santa. Santa, the gingerbread Santa.
cute.
And we have a beautiful red crystal for the season. And for those of us who are proud Americans, we have flags. And if you want to be encouraging, we have a little one that says, she believed she could, so she did.
Oh.
Plus, all other stones, like this is a hematite. Hematite is a stone that's known to help with stress.
Okay.
This is an abalone. And we have, on
Wow.
the website, we have thousands of different stones, big.
Now, are
and
these
little.
unisex?
Yes, they are. We have wood bracelets. We have solo bracelets. Like, for example, if you took, see how this comes off? If you took it out and perhaps put in, here, we'll put in this guy. We have a lapis.
So that's nice.
So this can be
Yeah.
very easily worn by a man.
That's good.
And we have also wood ones, which the guys like as well. And we have bracelets for men as well. We have bracelet sizes that go up to about 9 inches. So if you have strong like ox
That's a
or
big
a
wrist.
wrestler,
Yeah, that's
you have wide wrists.
Definitely
then
not
you're
my wrist,
set.
but okay.
So we have for everybody because
Okay.
everybody really deserves to be protected.
That's awesome.
And it's a lot of fun.
That is, and that was a fun presentation.
Thank you.
Carolyn, what is your involvement with this wonderful company?
Well, I know Eileen for many years, and we both are very much interested in holistic health, nutrition, and environment. So she invited me a few weeks ago to the New Life Expo to show
Great,
me the
yeah.
collection.
Yes.
And I was really feeling under the weather.
Okay.
I thought I was coming down like a major flu or something. So I started wearing this jewelry.
That's
And
beautiful, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
yeah.
You can take out the stone and put in a different one, and then I suddenly felt so good. And the other thing is that I spend a little bit too much time on my computer. I
Right.
always read at night all kind of articles, and so I feel rather drained. At the end of the day, and usually I go to bed after 1 or 2 in the morning. But then I can't sleep. So now I'm wearing this, and the other thing is, the good thing is that I do have the energy, even at the end of the day, or 1 and 2 in the morning, and I sleep with this, and I sleep like a baby.
So it energizes you and it winds you down too.
Exactly,
Oh,
it
that's
helps
great.
you to sleep. Yes,
cool.
because it's protecting you from the all the harmful radiation. So I got involved with this because I said this is great, and also I besides being an actress, I'm also an artist and a designer.
Right.
I design jewelry, earrings, everything, and I just love. You have thousands of combinations here.
Yeah.
You can put a different nice gems or
Right.
crystals or different color for your outfit. So I love it.
I mean, I don't wear jewelry personally, but I can imagine that being a lot of fun, just to interchange.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I enjoyed that.
Cool.
The only thing I do want to add, because this product has not yet been evaluated by the FDA, and
Okay.
being a lawyer of 37 years, full transparency, but I will tell you, and we're not making medical claims, that my dog is almost 13, she has arthritis. I put on the little paw, and by the end of the day, she wasn't limping anymore. So as
Wow.
human beings, we're very strong-willed, and we
Yeah.
can sort of wish things to happen, but animals live in the moment.
Right.
And if they hurt, they show
They
it.
need our
and
help.
It was just an
They really-
amazing change.
That's cool. I'm so glad that you're involved with this company, Eileen. It's so that's noble in my because you're not just helping humans, and that's a great thing. Now, Carolyn, you mentioned you're an actress, and I understand you were also on The Sopranos.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun because when it started, we didn't know it's going to be a big show.
Right.
When I remember the first day I worked on The Sopranos, I worked with Jim Gandolfini. I always work with him because I play Liliano Vasilius,
Right.
who was his housekeeper.
Okay.
I never met him before. And I said, oh, this guy is really good. I like him, such a talented actor. I never met him before. But as I said, we had no idea that there's going to be a second season and more. So but it was great.
So this was in the beginning. This was in like 1999 or
Yes,
so? Okay.
the first season.
First season.
Yeah, that was an episode called Isabella, and you know when Big Pussy disappears and Tony is very depressed, wearing that bathrobe, and I say, "Oh, may I wash your bathrobe?" And he is very mad. Says, "Oh, I haven't asked you to wash my robe." You know? So,
That must have been a lot of fun being on that set.
oh, it was great. And wonderful people. Yeah.
And Gandolfini, of course, was a great actor.
Oh, yes.
And we were all like stunned when he passed away. He was only what, about 50 years
Very
old?
young, very young.
Very young.
Yes, it was very unexpected.
Yeah,
I
but-
was very sad.
Yeah. But you got to
Yeah.
work with him, you know, and that's really
Well,
impressive.
I each time I worked with Jim because and Edie, of course, but
Yeah.
I always played, you know, the Liliana, the housekeeper,
Nice.
which I love because most of the time we were shooting in a Silvercup Studios in Astoria.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
they built the exact interior of the house in New Jersey. So most of the time we didn't have to go out to Jersey.
Oh, that's great.
I
That's
loved it.
convenient, yeah.
Very nice.
That's good.
I lived very close to the studio, so
Excellent.
that was fantastic.
Perfect.
I loved it.
What so you've had quite a career. What are some of the highlights in your career, you'd say?
Well, it's very hard to tell all about it, but I was very fortunate. I work with some wonderful actors and directors, and also did a lot of other things, not just film, television, theater. I was involved with the American-Hungarian theater,
Okay.
which I loved. I loved the stage too. And on the other hand, you see what happened, I started out really as an actress at age 5.
Okay.
But my parents were very conservative. Well, you know, my dad was a history professor and my mother was an economist, and they said, listen, you must do something you can actually make a living. You
Yeah.
have to get a degree.
Right.
And they wanted me to be a doctor, a lawyer, which I was not very much interested. So I went to music school, I studied fine art, I studied studio art and literature and linguistics. So I got a PhD in art history. So I was teaching art history at City University and FIT, but then I was getting more and more acting work. So
Kinda
then I
balance
got,
everything, yeah.
Yes, I had to quit the teaching.
Yeah.
But I still, because I have a PhD, I still help my friends if they need a fine art appraiser, you know, I do that.
That's great.
And I also love designing.
Yeah, that's great.
And I enjoy designing jewelry, and that's why I got involved with this, because it's all combined, you know,
Yeah.
the health
Sure.
and the jewelry together, and the art.
You certainly wear many hats.
Thank you.
And so I'm curious, do you prefer film over TV or stage? Or are they kind of all equal to you?
It's a very difficult question. I mean, each has the advantage, you know.
Right.
But I think I feel probably most comfortable with television.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And Eileen, are you a big television connoisseur?
Oh, 100%,
Yeah.
really. And movies as well.
Oh,
as
of course.
As you might have guessed.
Yes, a bit.
Big fan of the show.
Yeah, oh, good.
I
good.
watch the show for guidance so I can know what to
Oh,
go see.
thank you. Spread the word, please.
I will, especially when you spoke about, I think, Bohemian
Oh
Rhapsody.
my
I
God,
was
yeah. One of the
I
best
loved
movies.
it.
That was a
It
great-
So
great.
good. One of
saw
the best
that
of
on
the
my
year.
birthday. Love that.
Perfect
Love
birthday
that. I'll see
present.
it 20 more times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
I love that.
I know what to get you for Hanukkah though. That's great. So, is there anything you want to plug or promote that's coming up in Magnitude or your own career?
Well, next Sunday we're going to be out in Plainview at the Holistic Expo. I believe it is at the Plainview Holiday Inn, but we'll be posting it and letting everybody know where that is.
Okay.
It's it's the Health and Wellness Expo. So
I've got it the Holiday Inn in Plainview.
yes,
So I'm gonna
yes, from 10 to 4, and come out and see us.
Yes.
And if you mention this show,
Yeah.
you're going to get a special gift.
Oh, exciting. And Catalin, anything you want to plug or anything coming up for you?
Well, I'm going with Eileen.
Okay, good.
And I have certain plans for the future, but I'd rather not to talk about it.
Okay. Well, maybe in the future you come back.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
that'd be great. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Eileen, Catalin. Thank you. This has been great, and yeah, hope to have you back on real soon.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for inviting us.
Sure, anytime, anytime. So, guys, we're going to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with our film review segment right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a tude to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com or call 718-268-6634.
And we're back, guys. I'm your host, Randy Unger, and this is Under the Radar, where we connect movies and film with people one frame at a time. So today I've got my wonderful panel of guest critics again. Jennifer Covey, hello. Mr. Nick Commando, 1M.
1M.
And not the Schwarzenegger movie, right?
Never will be.
Never will be? Never? Ever?
Nope.
Damn it.
Won't
Okay.
happen.
It's a great movie, though.
Yes, it is.
It's fun.
Yes, it is.
But not as fun as the last movie on our list of stuff to review today. But before that fun, let's get through the more, I don't know, lackluster movies. I didn't love it. I don't know about you guys.
Which one are we talking about?
We're talking about Outlaw
Oh, that's
King.
what I thought. Okay.
I don't know if any of the movies this week were lackluster.
No?
I think they were all good. It was just different levels of good.
Oh, that's-
I
Outlaw
also
King
think-
was probably the worst out
So
of
there's
the
some,
three.
there's
I
some
agree, I
shades
agree.
of gray here.
But what I
Yeah,
was going to
yeah.
say is like you're also putting that against two other movies that
Yeah.
were already said to be really phenomenal movies. So
Yeah.
like we could have put Outlaw King against two awful
That's
movies and we'd be saying the opposite thing
That's
probably.
a good point. Ouch. Got me there.
It was like two of them were very similar in the fact that they were fun and goofy
Uplifting, yeah.
and uplifting, and you felt like stuff was happening. And then the third one was just like, hey, history
Right.
about Scotland.
Yeah, kind of like a watered down
Chris Pine is in it.
Braveheart.
He's not Scottish.
That's what it reminded me of. It
Yeah.
reminded me of Braveheart.
Well, it's supposed to take place during the. They
I
mentioned
don't
William
understand
Wallace.
why they didn't just
It's
use
the same
Scottish actors.
people,
Yeah.
right?
Like, why'd they put Chris Pine in there?
I hate when,
Give him
I
a wig
hate
and
when
be like, all right,
movies
you're
do
going to do a
that.
Scottish accent now. And it was an okay Scottish accent, but you couldn't
Yeah,
have used
it could have
somebody
been
else.
any other good-looking leading man. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
They just
They're
picked him.
good-looking Scottish people.
Yeah, there are. But I like Chris Pine though, but not in
I don't
this
have
so
anything
much.
against. Yeah, no, I have nothing against Chris Pine. But
Yeah.
It's just like, why is he here?
So basically, whoever doesn't know, the movie it's a Netflix original film about King of Scotland Robert the Bruce as he does battle with the English in the 1300s, right? Something
Sure.
It was like 1390, I think.
Yeah.
something like
I don't know.
I-
they were all wearing frocks.
that. I think it was
Yeah.
like the 1390s. I'm pretty
It was a
sure I
long
read
time
that.
Okay,
ago.
or 1380s or something.
I looked up afterwards because I
Oh, you
wanted to
did?
know
90s?
what time period exactly it was, and I think I read
Thank you
1391
for doing
or
your homework.
something.
That's awesome. But basically, he does battle. The final battle scene for me was pretty great. But
Yeah,
other
battle
than that,
scenes were good.
Yeah,
Battle scenes
but the
were
events leading up to it, with the new wife and his
I
daughter.
mean, the scenery was also beautiful.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, we all know I love good lighting and scenery, and I thought it was like that was nice.
Yeah.
This is just not my genre.
Yeah.
Did you guys
just
catch the sex joke at the beginning of the movie?
Which one? No.
After they get married and he leaves the chamber and there was that couple sitting there and the guy was like, that was quick. And the lady was like, you should know a lot about that, Seamus.
Oh yeah.
I fell off my couch.
That got you.
Because it was out of
It
nowhere.
was
no
all
humor.
downhill from there.
Right. That was like the
Everything
only
else
joke.
during the movie was just a grimace, and then all of a sudden they're just like, "Hey, let's make a sex joke."
Yeah.
This guy in the 1300s has problems.
It
Like,
really didn't fit.
yeah.
But
I laughed at it though.
You did, yeah.
And who's not gonna laugh?
I mean, the sets were pretty great.
Yeah, oh,
The
yeah,
costumes
yeah.
were.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Time period wise,
Yeah.
it looked beautiful.
Visually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
visually it was
absolutely.
great, but
Yeah.
I mean,
The acting, the story, I wasn't really thrilled. That's
what I'm saying.
That's
it
the
was
lackluster
just,
part for
yeah,
me.
it was
Yeah.
just another movie that was about historical time
Yeah.
period. I don't know. It's,
They've done it before, and they'll do it
yeah.
again.
They do these weird things in these movies where they like put it on the back of like two names. Like Chris Pine and Aaron Taylor Johnson were probably the two most significant actors in the film.
And the director, David Mackenzie,
yeah.
who did Hell or High Water with Chris Pine last year. Great movie. If you guys haven't seen that, it's an awesome Western thriller. And Pine, that was the first performance. I'm like, he can act. He's decent in this. Same with this, but not so much. And that's what really let me down with this one.
Yeah, they put these movies on the backs of like one or two significant names, but like they barely did anything with Aaron Taylor Johnson in it.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
well, that's how I felt a few weeks ago with that other movie we watched with Marissa Tomei. Her
Oh.
name was like all over it, and she was in like one scene.
Oh, After Everything?
Yeah, it's like kind of funny to me.
You hated that one.
I didn't mind that movie, but I'm saying like it was
Yeah.
just funny because they kept putting her name all over Google,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I forgot she was even in it for
I
a
know,
few
she's in
minutes.
5 minutes. That's
Yeah.
it. I hate when they do that. They do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To sell a movie, you know.
Well,
Yeah, well,
they-
because this is
they were
also
able to, like-
this was never released in theaters. This went right to Netflix.
I think this was actually in a limited
It was
theatrical
okay.
run.
Because I was gonna say they
I think
want
they
people
do
to
that
come
to
and
get Oscar consideration,
Yeah.
right? They do that so they can be.
That's one
Probably.
reason.
Yeah,
think
this is
that's
kind of
why.
end of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's one reason, and also they want people to watch because if you like that actor, then they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, let me go see it.
But other than like production design and costume design, I don't really see this being up
No.
for any awards or anything.
Yeah, and
It just felt
wasn't
like
memorable.
it felt like I was watching a documentary
Yeah.
of what
Like a
happened.
PBS show. Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
a lot of just
Yeah.
acted out scenes,
Just-
like
yeah,
one of those
like one of those-
identification
I
discovery
would say
things,
like ID
or
channel. Yeah,
investigation
that's
discovery.
what I was gonna
I
say.
think there are better movies on those channels.
Right,
Yeah.
where
than
they
this.
have
That's
like
what exactly
four
what it was
no-name
like.
actors playing a murderer, and what they did when they murdered people. That's what it felt. That's what
ID
this
channel,
movie felt like.
yeah.
And it was like you didn't like. I enjoyed the little blurbs at the end and the beginning.
Yeah.
It was like this is what like
Right, it's a true
to tell
story.
you where you are and what's going on. It's like
Right.
all right, well this actually happened. That's great.
Yeah.
But it's like it's almost like they rushed the significant part of the story to get to all these gory battle scenes.
Right.
Where we
That's
saw all these.
what people want to see.
well, that's
though.
what they think
Yeah.
people want to see.
Right, right.
But I don't know if that's necessarily what everybody
I feel
wants
like there's
to
a
see.
pretty good story there. Like with how he just all of a sudden is like, we need to fight. And they're all like, okay, you'll be the king now.
Yeah.
And they just rush through that
It
part.
is a good story. It's the
Anticlimactic.
execution. I
Yeah,
agree
like
with that.
they're just like, oh well, he's gonna go talk to these people, and they're gonna agree with him, and now the king's getting mad at them.
I'm thinking the screenplay plays a part in that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And the pacing.
Because they wanted it. It's like you said. They think that people want to see these gory battle scenes.
Right.
And they just rush to those points.
Well,
and it's
most
like,
people, most casual audiences do want to see that.
Yeah, but it's
Unfortunately.
like casual audiences will get pulled into a good story, though.
Right.
You know, they'll. You know, to me, it doesn't feel as significant if you don't have the ability to
But you have to have a
connect with the
movie
character on
that's
some
able
platform.
to stand out amongst other things because there's just
yeah.
so many movies like this
Yeah.
Yeah,
that I
that's
would
true.
never like remember this. Like 10 years from now, if somebody's like, "Give me your best 3 historic movies,"
Right.
I'm not going to say this movie.
If
so
you got rid of Chris Pine, this movie would be any other boring
Being
medieval tale.
The
nice
other thing,
pictures.
too, is
Yeah.
his performance wasn't really all that.
It wasn't.
It was just like, I guess maybe
Star power.
whatever source material they had, this guy was kind of quiet and reserved,
Yeah.
but wanted to fight, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that part you sensationalize.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I
he's
don't
gonna
know.
be king.
I'm hoping that this movie will take another viewing to appreciate further, but
yeah, maybe I'll watch it again.
yeah, right? Like
I
it's
won't.
got potential.
No, you
Nope.
won't.
You won't ever, but you are a Chris Pine fan, sort of.
He's all right.
It's
I've
all
seen
right.
Star Trek.
Yeah,
I didn't see Wonder Woman, so I don't know.
he was good. He was decent in that. He didn't steal the show or anything, so
Wonder if he smells like pine.
it's possible.
His name is Chris
What do you
Pine.
think? Do you think Chris Pine smells like pine?
I think that would be a good marketing
This is
tool.
why. This is why you have me on your show.
He just wears like a car freshener on
Yeah.
around his neck.
He could advertise those car fresheners.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
See, this is why
See,
you
someone
have
just
me,
stole that idea
This is
right
why
now.
you have me on your show.
This
for
is
the
why.
random
Marketing
We're
things
gonna go
genius.
viral now.
Yeah.
for the random things that just pour out of my mouth when I have nothing significant to say.
Speaking of viral, that'll come to our final movie of the day.
Oh,
Haha, you like
Oh.
that?
Now I know what we're gonna do
Foreshadowing.
next.
Yes, yes.
foreshadowing.
So-
we know what he's doing, but you don't.
So guys, final thoughts on Chris Pine's medieval romp, Outlaw King. Jennifer.
Okay.
Okay.
Not memorable.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it a romp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Just
feel
like
like
if
there
you're
needs to
looking
be
to
more movement.
waste some time a little bit, then,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
it wasn't the worst.
It's I think it's 2 hours 1 minute exactly.
That was the longest movie we watched.
Out of all three, yeah.
Yes,
Unfortunately.
well, because the other two were more family friendly. They're not going to
could've
put over
taken
2 hours.
I could have taken like maybe 20 more minutes of Ralph Breaks the Internet.
That's what I'm saying. But kids, they
That's
usually tend
true.
to make it less than 2 hours because kids are not going to
they
sit
make
through
those
that.
movies
So
for
many
the
adult
adults that
jokes
are
in
going to
that.
see them.
Right, but
Come on.
they have to put it within a certain time period. I mean, I
Right.
know that from working on movies that like certain movies. I mean, the one that I just finished.
Yeah.
He needed it to be under 2 hours because it's like a rom-com, and anything over 2 hour rom-com, people are
Right.
going to be like, no.
So that brings us to The Christmas Chronicles.
Yes.
Another Netflix original film.
I
movie made me feel stuff, and I'm not happy about it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I really
Uh-oh.
loved this movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to give any spoilers away, but
Well, let me just say
Like-
it's about two kids who basically accidentally come into Santa's sleigh, and they kind of mess everything up for him, and Santa has
it's
to.
like a typical Christmas.
yeah, basically.
film.
But Kurt Russell is
It's-
Santa,
that is true.
and that is the only reason we're talking about this movie right now.
But I will say that the first 30 seconds of this movie was on, right?
Uh-huh.
And I knew, I mean, it's a Christmas movie, so it's going to have that whole uplifting thing.
Yeah,
And
sure.
The first 30 seconds, I didn't, you're just learning, like you're just seeing who's in the movie.
Oh,
I
the
said, one of these
camcorder
people
stuff?
is going to die. That's what I said the
Wow.
first 30 seconds, and then,
pretty good.
within 10 minutes we find out.
All right.
I won't say who, but somebody
Yeah,
does
very,
die.
very intuitive.
But
very
no,
good.
but it was just set up for you to feel emotional. So
Right.
like, it's one of those typical.
It had that
Christmas movies.
serious Hallmark Channel
Yes,
feel. Which,
and you knew it.
Ugh.
They're yelling the years out there like it's Christmas 2006. They're watching old videos and they're like it's Christmas 2007.
Yeah.
I said we're gonna get to 2018 and one of these people is not gonna be alive anymore.
Good
So
point. Nick, impressions, The Christmas Chronicles.
I didn't really like the idea going in of a badass Santa.
No?
Because that's kind of the impression I got when I saw the previews. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
but he kind
Kurt
of was
Russell.
throughout. He was a little bit badass.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I like the idea of that concept.
Uh-huh.
You know, like Santa is like,
Jolly
know,
and-
cuddly
yeah,
and-
yeah.
right,
friendly.
like So
Santa.
like when they did that,
Santa.
when I saw that, I was like, I don't know about this. And I watched it and I was like, okay, this was good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked
I
it.
think
I
it was
enjoyed it.
was just enough edginess that it wasn't over the top because I think if it had been like
He wasn't a
total
badass,
edgy.
though.
No, but
he was just like really cool.
But it,
Yeah.
well, the when I say badass, I mean like aside from physically, like he's
taking out
you know,
a
he does look
shotgun
like
and
Santa.
shooting evil elves.
But he's like, it's almost like much more finesse and a lot more like, he bounces, he like disintegrates and flies
very
into the
sarcastic.
Yeah, very
yeah.
sarcastic, very like, he's flying in a Dodge Challenger through Chicago.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, well, that was
stuff
another
like
thing
that,
that really made me laugh about this movie is
Yeah.
that they threw in like because it's taking place in Chicago for most of the film.
Yeah.
They kept throwing in these like kind of like making fun of our
gun
political
jokes.
climate. Yeah,
Oh.
but like
jokes,
not
yeah.
in a way that it was too political, but just
Yeah.
enough that we talk about it so much in the media. They were like, let's make fun of how often we talk about this in the media and throw
True.
it in every 5 minutes. I thought it was funny.
that was a good touch.
That's
Yeah.
in there for adults, like the
That's
adults.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like,
I laughed a couple
Yeah.
times because I was like, "Oh my God, they're making fun of all of us who are just sitting on our TVs watching this every day."
It's
so.
a family film that makes nods to adult contemporary
Yeah.
pop culture and what's going on. Yeah, it's
every
good.
family film does that now.
Right.
They always have some sort of underlying
Well, now they do.
social thing.
Like if you go like maybe 20, 30 years ago, a movie like this would be totally like
Oh
of
no,
course,
they would
yeah.
never.
safe.
Oh yeah,
and-
absolutely.
They would never
No.
produce this 30 years ago.
Yeah, but
Never.
I was a fan of this actually.
I was. I thought
Yeah.
it was great casting, which
Right.
Yeah.
means
I
a lot
liked
to
who
me
Mrs.
too.
Claus was at the end.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a
but she wasn't
no,
like
I
not-
didn't say
That's
it.
a huge
I
spoiler.
didn't say it.
Yeah, that was an awesome.
I
I
didn't-
kind
That
of
was
felt
great.
it.
That was
when,
great.
You know,
I was
Yeah.
sitting there. I was like, it's got to be that.
oh my
person.
god. I want to talk about it so badly, but
But-
it was just
That person.
awesome.
But I mean, the casting for the kids, like
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
these movies, they throw in people who are maybe good actors or they're good looking or whatever, and which is fine. But like, I felt like these
were-
two people were siblings.
Yeah.
They reminded me of my brother and myself. I mean, it was like very real.
I didn't love the older brother.
But
that
he did seem like he was
yeah
her brother.
He sold it. Yeah.
It wasn't
he
really
hit
about
it.
his performance. About like whoever cast it was like these people look related to each other,
Right.
and that's like step one for me.
Well, if it's,
so.
if
They
it's
look nothing like. Yeah.
also somebody like Netflix, they can take the extra time, I feel like, and actually put people together and see if they have chemistry.
Okay.
You're not beholden to like specific ideas from
Yeah.
a movie studio. Like, to my knowledge, Netflix just does this stuff on their own, right? I don't think they work with any studios.
Honestly, I don't know the inner workings, but yeah, it seems like
usually
it kind
starts
of.
out as like
Very
an
superficial.
an independent film,
Right.
and then they sell it to Netflix.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like it's not like New Line Cinema. It's like, okay,
No.
we want to springboard the career of this cute person
Right.
from
Oh, yeah.
this thing.
Probably,
It's
yeah.
like they can take the extra time and say,
And
okay, well, let's put these people together
The
to
easiest way
see
to
who
get
has the
on
most
Netflix
chemistry.
is
Yeah.
also to make a Christmas film, in case anyone's ever wondering.
Which one? Sorry.
The easiest way to get on Netflix as a film producer or
Yeah.
whatever is to make a Christmas film, because they pick up about 100 new Christmas films every year that are Netflix originals,
Yeah,
but
I've
they're
noticed
usually
that.
made from,
Yeah.
you know.
I think this is one of the better ones. I
Yeah.
haven't really.
Oh, I heard about it
bothered.
all before I watched it. I heard the reviews all on the radio, and
Yeah.
I kept hearing commercials for it, so I knew it was going to be like the new.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the underlying message of the movie was that people are terrible.
Yeah.
Because when they have that scene in the restaurant, it's like that. I always enjoy that part of these movies where it's like Santa trying to interact with everyday people.
Oh, that was the best
like,
scene.
Like
Yes.
in the
Yeah,
diner.
yeah, and
I'm Santa.
yeah.
Like,
That
I'm
was-
Santa. It's cool. I'm Santa. And they're all just like, you're a crazy old man with a beard. Go
Right.
away.
Robbie, I remember you.
Yeah.
That was
But
so
then there's
good.
always that like one person, which in this case was like
Was
the
the hostess,
hostess,
yeah.
who's like kind of like just a nice person. Like, I mean, she offered to give them money for a taxi without
Yeah.
even knowing it was the real
and-
Santa, whatever.
and
But-
She believed it was really him.
Right, but he was saying enough stuff about her.
Right.
I always think to myself, like, if this were me and somebody just started like saying all these things about me from when I was like 8 or 9, I'd be like, what?
It kind of reminds me of the scene in Groundhog Day where
Yeah,
he's like
yes.
telling everybody's life story
Right.
in the diner. Yeah, seriously.
And the other thing, too, is like everybody's just predisposed to believe, aside from the hostess, oh, well, that's just a crazy old man. We don't believe him. Meanwhile, he's telling them stuff about, in 1976, you sent me a letter for this.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, go away.
Yeah, right.
And it's like,
But that's how
and it
big
just
city
goes
life
back to the
is.
whole, like, where we are as
That's
a
exactly what
society,
it's
where
like.
we're all so
Right.
focused on ourselves.
Right.
We're not going to take an extra 5 seconds
Yeah.
to really listen to what
what's-
this person
Like the
is saying.
cops,
Right.
right before they locked up Santa, like he was telling them so much stuff.
That whole scene in the police station with the jail and everything,
yeah.
the best scene.
Oh, the
of
musical
movie.
number?
The musical
oh my
number,
God, that
yeah.
was the best
That was
part.
cute.
That was nice,
If that was
too.
Kurt Russell singing, I want him to release an album.
It
I
might be.
loved that song.
I think it might
I
have
loved
been.
that song.
I didn't look
I went
that
on
up.
Spotify and downloaded like 4 versions of that song.
Well,
from, like,
he
6
played
different
he
artists.
played Elvis 3 times.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
In the
Also,
s-
it might be him then.
it might be.
Probably is.
So.
It felt very authentic to what I would envision him as a singer. Sometimes they have stuff where it's like, oh, that's clearly somebody else.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way that came out of this.
I also
guy.
thought
pretty
the
sure it
casting of all of that was just great too. Like the police
Steven
officer, like
Van Zandt.
yeah, it was just every bit of it was just like enjoyable to
And
somebody.
he's talking like he's in the 70s. Like, I had other issues, you dig? Like, who says that? It's 2018. Like, this isn't a period piece, dude. What are you doing?
Funny.
Go back and tour
Yeah,
with Springsteen.
those guys in the jail were,
Yeah.
were great. The women in
Can
the
we
jail were
keep
great.
these?
The police officers were great. All that.
Yeah,
was
they
great.
really were.
Cast
The
was
one
terrific.
thing that was a little weird to me,
Yeah.
I mean, not that it was bad, but it was like the portrayal of the elves was
Yeah, the
like
design-
very
I
out
didn't
of the
like the
box.
design.
That was
Yeah.
purely for kids, right there.
I
That
know,
was,
but it-
like,
it's
That was for
minions.
marketing.
It was
Yeah.
it was, but it was
Yeah.
like one of those things where like every other film we've seen,
They're humanoid.
they're humans, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden these guys look like Furbies to me,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
like a little freaky.
It was
wasn't-
off, and the visual effects were like very kind of cheesy.
Yeah,
almost
that's the only thing I
animated.
didn't love.
I do give them
work.
credit, though, for taking that risk with that idea. Like,
Yeah, well,
let's
definitely
just do
add
our
a
own
level.
version of elves.
Yeah.
Let's not make them maybe little
I like that
people
they didn't
or
speak
just
English.
kids.
Yeah,
I like that
Elvis,
they
that
didn't
was
speak.
cute.
I liked
Yeah.
that. Thought that was good.
And Kurt Russell speaking Elvish was
Yeah.
great too.
Yeah, that was
enjoy that.
that was great.
I'm trying to think. Were there other Christmas movies where they have like animated elves like running around like that? Probably.
Really, I
Not
mean,
that I can think
not
of.
the
Yeah.
ones I've seen. Like the Santa Claus movies, it's a bunch of kids,
Right.
a bunch of like 5, 6
Right,
year
there's
old
always like
kids.
somebody's bizarre take on it, which was in
Yeah.
that case it was kids, or you'll have like shorter people, whatever. But in this case, something just seemed off
It
about that.
didn't
I don't know
work.
what it was.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, it was good that they took a
Yeah,
stab
but
at something
I-
different.
But I agree with you though. It
Yeah.
was like I looked at it, I was like, why?
Yeah.
They look like genetically engineered mice.
Yeah.
With
Or
giant mustaches.
not
and
as
big
mean
old
gremlins.
ears.
Yeah, Furby
Yeah,
was the
like,
first thing I
don't
thought
totally
of.
get
Yeah.
it. Like it was just like that. It was a nice different take to see.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, that just feels unnecessary. And that to me feels like, we're going to sell this idea to Funko, and they're just going to release a bunch of pop dolls.
And I know
Funko
you already
would've been
bought.
really,
You're going to buy those.
Yeah, of course. Of course we're going to buy them.
I would buy a Funko of
Somebody was
Kurt
saying
Russell
this
Santa.
was going to
Oh,
be
yeah,
the new Elf. This movie, like this, would be like one. that
This
people-
movie?
That's what I heard
I could
a
see it.
review.
This
Somebody
is-
said that.
No,
I can
this
see
is
it.
I'm not
gonna-
agreeing. I'm saying
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
had said that, so I guess
Yeah.
its innovativeness got to people who
I could
really
see
like
it.
Christmas movies.
I see this having a cult following. Not
Yeah.
like maybe after
Maybe
Christmas.
that's what they meant. Yeah.
No, I
Unfortunately.
could absolutely see it being the next Elf. It's got that charm to it to me.
Yeah.
And it's
where-
also it's funny and out of the box.
It's funny. It's
It
outside
is, it
the
is.
box.
It's cute. It's good for the whole family.
I would watch it during the year.
Yeah.
There's some Christmas movies where it's like you need to just watch this the day before Christmas and
Yeah.
don't watch it the rest of the year. This is one you could pop in July and be like, it's
I
not
like the
super
Christmas
Christmassy.
spirit reading thing that he had on his wrist too. I thought that was clever.
That was cool, yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like a lot of stuff in there was very. It was like the same stuff, but it was repackaged to a point where it felt original.
And
Like they always talk about Christmas spirit, and like every
Oh,
Christmas
another
movie
thing
they
I
want
really
Santa.
liked about it was they modernized, you know, because I've never thought of this maybe because I'm not a kid growing up now,
Okay.
but like you know they catch Santa in the act by like videotaping him, right? That's like the whole premise of the story.
yeah, they see his arm.
And the little girl says like, oh, well, you know, we should videotape him. And the brother goes, don't you think somebody's thought of that? And I was like, oh, well, because that's all the kids do now is just videotape things. Like everybody with
Yeah.
all their cameras and stuff.
Although-
It made it more 2018 that they would be like, yeah, let's just do this because we all
Plus,
do this.
I'm sure parents have security cameras.
Cameras, that's what I'm
in
saying.
the living room.
Exactly.
Unless Santa has a special power to just block it for a few seconds.
But it was
The best part of that,
it was very realistic.
Yeah.
the best part of that was that they used a camcorder
Yeah, from
and they
98.
weren't using an iPhone.
But they
Right.
explained,
That was the
she
best
explained why the little girl.
Oh yeah. I mean, the camcorder was like a
Sort of-
relic of the family
the
that
family,
they always
yeah.
Time
use.
capsule.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
because the brother
I,
wanted to throw the camera at the beginning.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she got
yeah.
mad and she's
Right.
like, "This is our family."
like I get that part, but
Yeah.
it was just still just
ironic.
tickled me because
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah, it's really
that the son's got to have an iPhone.
Yeah, of
The
course.
son's got to have a smartphone.
Oh, boy.
What are we
He was
doing?
like 17. Another really funny thing I
Yeah.
thought about it too, and I was watching it with my boyfriend, so
Mm-hmm.
he was laughing when I said this too. The beginning, you know, the son is causing trouble or whatever, and they're going off to the side, and my boyfriend says, "Oh, is he gonna like go smoke pot and she's gonna catch that?" And I was like, "There's no way they're gonna put that in like a Christmas movie." So he's like stealing cars, and
Yeah,
that's like his
instead.
thing. But like,
Like, that's
it would
better?
be
It's more
exactly.
socially
But they didn't
acceptable.
want to say that in the movie because it's like
Yeah.
a kids and
But that's
family
pretty
movie. Yeah.
intense for a 17-year-old.
That's what I was thinking. It was like 17-year-olds stealing
know.
cars now. Like, you know.
Well, it was funny too because it was also like to me an underlying message of how people deal with grief, and it's like
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
she was just looking back on past Christmases and watching those videos, probably watches those videos multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And the way that he coped with it was just to basically go within
Cause
himself
problems,
and
yeah.
just push people away. And
That was a pretty
You know.
strong story arc right there.
Yeah.
that
But I
story.
thought they did a really
Yeah.
tasteful job with it.
Yeah.
I happen to be from a family of like firefighters and stuff, so
Okay.
like it was realistically portrayed, I think, because I've had family members that died
Okay.
that way. So for me, I mean, it wasn't my father or my mother or anybody like in my immediate family, but like I've seen how people react to that, and I thought the way that they did that was,
Tasteful.
you know, tasteful because obviously, you know. The death didn't happen right before this movie. It had been like several months or a year, however long it had been. And that lasts with kids for a really long time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this daughter here, what is she, like 10,
She's
11?
10. They said she was almost 11 or something.
Yeah. It's
nothing
crazy.
felt shoehorned about this movie either.
No.
It didn't feel like they shoehorned anything in.
Nothing, yeah.
Didn't feel like a scene was forced. Everything felt like it just made sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
And just it seemed like their focus was really just to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
To tell like I would say maybe 3 stories
Yeah.
in the movie and just focus on those 3 stories and make them the best they could be instead of like all these different subplots. Like
Yeah.
we didn't know anything about the cops
Yeah.
thing with his wife, but that was a nice little 5-minute thing to
Yeah.
focus on. But we didn't see that intertwined through the entire movie where it's like, why do I care about this cop? He
think-
just locked up Santa.
I think each of the storylines, each of the three or so could have been their own movie.
Yeah,
in a way.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Or at
but
least like a
they
short.
touched on it enough. Like sometimes you'll watch a movie and then they'll just give you like all this backstory in one scene to like
Yeah.
try to make it work.
Right.
But like people don't do that in their everyday life. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't sit around and just talk about what had happened to them in depth. So this
Yeah.
was like enough information that we knew what was going on.
Right.
But not so much that it seemed like this was written in to give us,
Right.
you know, some information.
Yeah, the way they opened the movie made a ton of sense because you're just telling the story of the family and how important Christmas was to them
Right.
and
Yeah.
all that, and then you just sort of just go through that and go through that. And what they stop at 2016?
Do something like that.
Yeah, and that
16,
was sort of where we picked up, and it was like, okay, well, you know, things have been tough since
Right.
you know what happened.
Right.
So
It's a fine movie.
Yeah.
But actually, I wanted to segue into your favorite Christmas movies real quick.
My favorite
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
movie? I have to think about this.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
Muppet Christmas Carol and Elf.
Nice.
I was
Michael
I was
Caine.
in Elf.
Michael
As-
Caine just acting his butt off during this movie with puppets, and it's fantastic.
Is that your favorite Scrooge rendition?
Well, I haven't. I tried watching like one of the like real authentic Christmas carols, but it scared me, so I didn't finish it, and I haven't touched it since.
I hope you
so
were
I
a
just
little- you were a
watched
little
the silly
kid then,
parts
right?
of it. I was probably like 10 or 11.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite Christmas movie of all time is Scrooged. Bill Murray.
I keep wanting to watch that. I haven't watched that.
Oh my
yet.
God, so good, so quirky and weird.
Yeah. Muppet Christmas Carol's great,
Yeah.
just because it's Michael Caine just
Yeah.
acting.
I do like
perfect,
that
But he's
movie.
with puppets.
Yeah,
But it's like
yet he's
you
being
can't-
so
like,
deadpan
if
serious.
you just isolated Michael Caine in that movie, you would not think he's working with puppets.
It's like he has no idea what's around.
yeah,
him,
exactly.
What he's
It's like
working
they almost like put him in a room by himself. Like, okay, Michael, you're Scrooge. Go.
monologue for 2 hours. Go.
It was great.
That's good.
I still don't know what my favorite is.
Still-
I'd have
okay.
to think about it. But what I really do like about Christmas movies in general, though,
Yes.
is that everybody knows what that feeling of this time of the year is.
Yeah.
So you can always tell what a good
Spending
Christmas movie is. Yeah.
Listening to
No,
the
but like
sad
that
Christmas
feeling
songs.
of like the weather changing
Yeah.
and like it just
It's
that,
nice.
Yeah.
Snowy.
And a good Christmas movie always starts out by like exploiting that feeling like this movie did.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like they were showing us past Christmases and I just knew that feeling of what it felt like to have like the parents being like, open your presents.
Right.
And like I just am familiar with that and I feel like everybody is familiar with that feeling.
But do you think it's wrong to have that feeling presented up front?
No, I think that presents that like we're going to be watching one
Yeah,
of those
yeah.
over-the-top Christmas movies. And I think it prepares you for it. You know.
Okay. Cool. But not in Die Hard. You don't really get that in the beginning of Die Hard, unfortunately.
Well, there is a very intense debate about whether
I
or not
know.
Die Hard's a Christmas.
Well, I was going to say that
I
that's
know,
not
but-
like this was like the Christmas Chronicle,
Right,
so
right.
it has it in the
That's a
title.
good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say Scrooged, Die Hard, and A Christmas Story.
I don't like A Christmas Story.
You don't like A Christmas Story?
Stupid.
It's a little syrupy.
overrated.
I don't love it.
It's good when you're a kid, though.
That and It's a Wonderful Life. I just.
Oh, of course.
I saw
my
that
brother
movie
has to
and-
watch that every year, and I'm like, no, this is dumb.
All right.
Like nothing happens.
That's a good
Like
point.
nothing.
I like the Mickey
significant happens with
Mouse
this guy.
Christmas Carol.
Yes,
the one-
that's
Mickey's
a good
I
one.
love
Christmas
that
Carol's
one.
also
I
up
love
there.
that
Oh
one.
my God,
Yeah.
that was up there too.
But I love Disney, so.
Yes, you do. And that segues into our final reviewed movie of the night. It's Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Which I'm so excited to talk about
Yes,
because I'm
yes.
a Disney queen.
Yes, good. So basically, well, first, it's the sequel to Wreck-It Ralph, which actually was in 2012. It took them 6 years to come out with the sequel.
I mean, I'm surprised that they had a sequel that was straight to movie in the theater and not released on, because mostly Disney doesn't typically do
Yeah.
their sequels in theater. They usually just do it direct to. I guess it's direct to
Yeah.
streaming now. It used to be
Yeah.
direct to video.
And I think this is like one of the first, if not the first, blockbuster Disney sequels.
Yeah,
like-
Cars was
Oh, yeah.
also
Yeah.
and Toy Story, but those are more Pixar. This is Disney.
This isn't Pixar.
I also feel like they don't usually take this long between sequels.
Oh no, not
They
at all.
don't,
Yeah.
but that's why they knew that this would be a hit.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot to flesh out in this because
I
you
love
know, in 2012, obviously we were still using the internet, but like
Yeah.
now we've come to a point where it's like children have
Everywhere.
cell phones too.
Everyone,
so
yeah.
Well, I mean, they released a mobile app version of the Wreck-It Ralph game back in 2012.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I played it. It was fun.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was fun. It was like the arcade.
It's
game.
like Rampage, right?
It was Fix It Felix. And
Yeah.
you would,
Yeah.
it was,
Fix It
it was
Felix.
almost exact. It was basically just Fix It Felix.
That's awesome.
That's like kind of
it
like
was
a take on Donkey Kong, right? Isn't that like the point of?
No, there was
of
a game
this-
called Rampage, an arcade game, I think in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, no, I've played Rampage.
Oh, you played- okay.
But I'm saying, isn't Wreck-It Ralph? It always reminded me of like when they would throw the barrels down that game in Mario, and he
that's
would
kind
punch
of what
them.
it
like
is,
a mix of.
That's what I
Ralph
always
is
thought.
breaking
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
building, and Felix
Yeah.
is trying to
That's
fix
just
it.
when I
yeah.
look at it. That's
or
what I
Super
think
Mario, the original Super Mario. Remember from the early 80s?
Yeah, that's
Which was
what
very
I
misleading
am reminded
about
of.
Wreck-It
Kong.
Ralph, because when you watched the original Wreck-It Ralph, you
Yeah.
thought the game was about Ralph, and it wasn't.
No.
And it was called Fix It Felix, and I don't like that.
But that's well, not that we're talking about the first movie, but that's the point of the first
Right,
movie
right.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
that it's
Like,
not about
again,
him and
Not
he gets
sharing the
mad.
spotlight.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Exactly.
yeah, the outcast.
I mean, the people that live in the building are still jerks.
They still are. 6
Still
years
in
later.
this movie, they're
years
not
later,
very
they are.
nice.
But
That's
they're more
true.
inclusive. Like they're adding, more activities. They had the barbecue. Right?
Yeah, yeah. This was a
This
was
was
a good
so
movie.
good.
This
Yeah,
was so
I
much
mean, I
fun.
love
Really
this movie because they were able to use the names of so many big things. Like there was Pinterest and
Yeah.
Instagram and eBay, and it's
Amazon.
just these things that are like so a part of our lives now.
Right.
Maybe that's
that,
why
like,
it took 6 years, all the litigation.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably. Yeah.
That's a good point.
But I mean, every scene I was just laughing, and
Yeah.
I went with my little cousin, and she's 7, so she didn't get all the jokes, but I got all the jokes, and she's looking at me like, "Why are you laughing at all this stuff?"
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So she's basically like Penelope.
Yeah. Well, I love Vanellope
Von
too.
Schweetz. It's cool.
Yeah, I think that they're great characters. I think they're realistic characters. I mean, this is obviously
You believe
sequel,
their
but-
friendship. Like,
Yeah, but it's just like it's so innocent, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
kids can relate to that feeling of like I don't want my friend to have other friends, and but like at the same time, you're as an adult, you're like, oh my god, this has happened to me like how many times, So there was a lot for both adults and
beautiful.
kids in this.
it's friendship. It's togetherness. It's
It's making
know.
fun of things on the internet.
yes, yeah.
I could not stop laughing when they were on eBay and they were like thinking it was a game where they just have to pick the biggest number, and so they're like $27,000. They think they've won the game, but then they got to come up with the money for the game, and I was just like, kind of cringing because I knew what that meant, like what eBay is, but they don't. So
What's your credit card number? 7.
That's not a credit card number. Yes, it is.
11.
Yeah.
I also
my
liked the when they had the we're gonna go viral. I
Yeah.
mean, keep in mind this is all happening within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So like
It's that guy from the old video game making
yeah,
faces.
within 24 hours they were like a viral sensation,
This
which
movie-
does happen too.
In the same time span, people just were like, no, this is dumb. Go
Yeah.
away.
Right.
Basically, the exact description of the internet.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy the way they depicted it that way. It's a bustling city, metropolis.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see this again, actually.
Well, I'm never going to envision the internet as anything but that.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
Yeah,
at first
yeah.
I was confused because when he hooks up the Wi-Fi in the arcade,
Yeah.
he like the little man goes in there that looks like him, and I was like, what are these Mii's? Like I thought they were Mii's from
Well, like
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Minecraft, is it? The little boxy characters.
Yeah, but it looked like them, so that's why
Yeah.
I'm automatically was like, oh, they're like, like PlayStation
I
Home or
also
whatever
would-
you make the
yeah.
person. But then I got it. I was like, oh, it's just like interpretation of what they actually look
I
like.
also
Right.
would like to know why he decided to just randomly get Wi-Fi, to not having
30
it
years later.
the entire time. Like,
Like, okay.
everything else in that arcade is from like 1972.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna go buy a modem. And it was like, but why?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
maybe,
why do you have
maybe
that?
he thought it would increase business. I don't know.
I like
Yeah,
his
that's-
password was high score with a 0. I was like, this is great.
With a zero.
And I'm like, that's exactly what an old man would think of the
Yeah.
password. That's exactly
Yeah.
what Ed O'Neill would have as
There
a
was
password.
no,
O'Neill is the
there was
voice.
no moment in this that was bad.
Yeah.
They had all the Disney princesses in it, which isn't
The
a
Disney
spoiler
princess.
because it's in the trailer.
And
The
Jodie
fact that
Benson.
the
Yeah.
fact that they openly just mocked the Disney princesses to me
But
was amazing.
But they weren't mocking them because Jennifer Lee wrote this Wreck-It Ralph, and Jennifer Lee also is the writer of Moana and Frozen, Let It Go,
Nice.
and all that.
And those are
So she-
slightly different princesses.
But she's in charge. Jennifer Lee's in charge of the Disney princess franchise.
Oh,
So
she's in that division?
That's her. Yeah,
Wow.
she writes and does all of that now. I
That's
mean, she
cool.
obviously wasn't alive when they wrote Snow White, but I mean, she's in charge of creating that entire world now. So, for her to be able to make poke fun at her own work is kind of funny to
That
me.
is good.
But she also did it in a sense, or they did it in a sense that
She
was
wasn't like making fun though. Like,
exactly.
well, that's not-
They
yeah.
brought the women in the end, and they were like, oh, let's go save this like man. You know what I mean?
That
And
part
it
was
was
just unnecessary.
it was really no,
it was
but
great.
because
It was
people-
great, but it was unnecessary.
People always make fun of how the Disney princesses are not like feminist enough.
Okay.
But I think that that's just because of the lens that we view it today based
Mm.
on what we're hearing. And I think that she did it in a way that was like, you can be a princess and you can also be feminist,
Yeah.
which in a movie, a kid's movie, is
Yeah.
really difficult
well, most,
to do.
Most of those princesses too were created in a time, you know, in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah,
and
where that's
60s
just
and
what it
30s,
was,
where it was
right.
just like, you're a woman, you need a man in your life, make babies and clean my kitchen.
But that's
Yeah.
what she was able to modernize it so
Yeah.
that they were like, there's actually more to us than
well, I
just
think
that,
it
you know?
changed with Princess and the Frog. I think, right? She was kind of more of a
Yeah, well, I
independent young woman.
mean, you could say Mulan was that back in 1998, though.
That's a good point.
it was, I think
was there
Tongue-
too.
I think
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were able to incorporate like the old school ways of being like, yes, we
Yeah.
were made fun of as being girly and princessy, but they were able to save him in the end. They also changed all their clothing to fit Vanellope, and they were like, oh, we just
Right.
reflect on ourselves. I mean, I think there were points made to not make fun of them
I love
too.
when they all wear her type of
I
clothes.
think there was a balance.
It's cute.
She wore
struck.
nap cream pajamas. Well, I think
like
tongue
that.
in cheek
Let
is
it
the
go.
better way to describe it. Just like tongue in cheek, like wink,
Yes,
wink, nudge,
yes,
nudge.
yes.
Like, hey, look what we did here. You know, it really was very funny. And the part where Cinderella breaks off her glass slipper and makes it a shank.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that happened.
That part was
That definitely did
hysterical.
happen.
That part was great.
Did you guys like the inclusion of like Star Wars and Marvel? Into
Yeah,
that?
well, I mean,
that
I love
was-
all.
I
Wreck-It
mean,
Ralph did that in
yeah.
the first movie too,
Yeah.
not Star Wars, but they include all these like little things like Sonic and
Yep.
Bowser, and they did a great job of doing that this time
Yeah.
too, because so much has happened and has been bought
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
then.
Exactly.
Again, like tongue in cheek, like
Yeah.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, hey, this is a Disney movie. Why wouldn't we have this stuff?
Right.
here?
Right. Oh my God, so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it again. I can't wait. There should be at least 2 more of these. I think.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna make 4 Toy Stories, they may as well
Right?
keep
Oh,
this
again,
going.
you,
Yeah.
you saw the trailer in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not wildly excited about that,
Right.
just because I thought they ended it so perfectly
They
last
said
time.
pretty much all they could with the 3 movies.
Yeah.
That.
Well, the fourth one, I feel like is gonna. It's probably just gonna be a new story they start up.
It will,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but like, I don't know. I'm why mess for perfection kind
Right.
of a person. You
Yeah.
know, like
I'm not
I
gonna
should've
do
money,
left
that's
it.
why.
Yeah,
I
but-
mean,
money.
I'm sort of comparing it to Back to the Future. Like that was a perfect trilogy.
Yeah.
And so is Toy Story. So
Yeah.
why? I mean, I don't know.
yeah, I'm not
Well, when
thrilled
you
about
leave
that.
the toys with a new child,
Yeah.
that's kind of how.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, when I saw that at the end of Toy Story 3, I was like, "There's no way they're not going to make more of these. They're with a new kid."
And
Yeah.
then
Like,
they'll make
it's
their
not
way
like they
to
were sent
Andy's
to good-
college.
Yeah, it's not like they were
or his job.
Right,
It's
right.
not like they were sent to like Goodwill or something, and it's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, they got donated to Salvation Army. This story's over.
Well, that's like
you know?
another thing about like Wreck-It Ralph is they left this with
Yeah.
so many ways to keep it going.
sure.
But they
Well, a
also
third
left it
movie-
if they never do a third movie, like they had closure and they left it open at the same
Yeah.
time, which is extremely difficult
Well,
to do.
the third movie could absolutely be about Ralph finding what he loves the most.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You know, where like he sits like this was about Vanellope finding her dream game, what she loves to do most in life, and
Right, which
trying
is why,
something
which
new.
also goes along with what we were saying before, which is why I think the princesses were there because they
Yeah.
always find what they want at the end. And this
Yeah.
poor girl last time got her game back, but like
Yeah.
there was never anything more for her.
Like Ariel getting to wear a shirt, and and so
Yeah,
like
that
the third,
helps.
you could absolutely do the third movie about maybe Ralph actually realizes he's not satisfied doing Fix It Felix for the rest of his life,
Yeah.
and he wants.
Well, I
to
think
do
he got
something
what he
different.
wanted. He got a friend in the first movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
and also
there could be more to him. There could be many layers.
Like you could,
Shrek,
you
he's an
could-
onion.
To me, you could tell the story of Ralph having this long distance friendship with Vanellope and kind of having
Oh.
time to himself to think about, well, maybe Fix It Felix is not what I want to always do.
yeah.
And then they go
Well, the
back
internet
out
just
to the
opens
internet
up
or
so
something.
many possibilities.
Yeah, or you could just port them into an app and make Wreck-It Ralph an app,
Yeah.
and that's the third
Their
movie.
phones.
And adjusting
I like
to
it.
that. See,
Yeah.
you should hire me.
That's it.
You should hire me.
Or-
to do this
Disney,
stuff.
come
Yeah.
on, hire this man.
Come on,
I always,
Disney.
I thought
I
at
like
the
money.
end
Pay
when
me.
when they showed, you know, they leave. We're looking at the arcade or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking, like who even goes to an arcade before? Now another
Yeah.
storyline would be like the arcade is shutting down.
Right, like a Dave and Buster's comes in
Yeah.
and they're like evil
Exactly,
corporate
yeah.
types.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff you could do with this, and the characters are so lovable.
But it all, like that idea, I feel like also is like, I feel like from their perspective, the whole the arcade's gonna close or Dave and Buster's moving in, it almost feels like low hanging fruit.
Right, but
Like,
I'm
that's
just saying
kinda
that
obvious.
there's multiple
like it, though.
outlets that we could go.
I'll still
Yeah.
pay to see that movie,
yeah.
though.
Oh, of course.
Because
yeah.
the characters are great.
Yeah.
When the characters are good, then
Speaking of which, we have a few minutes. What do you guys think of the voice acting? Like Sarah Silverman as
I love
Penelope.
Vanellope's voice.
Yeah.
So perfect,
It's so
right?
good. I think she's great at that because she kind of gives the character a little rebellion in her
Kinda
voice.
spunk.
She's not like a sweet voice.
No, no, no.
She's got like a spunky, sarcastic
Feisty,
voice.
yeah. And she's so tiny.
Kind of-
Exactly.
yeah, kind of like an annoyance to it, where it's like if she really wanted to, she could be very, very aggravating.
And all the princesses
Yeah.
were their original voices,
Yeah,
besides
Jodie's
the ones that
hysterical,
weren't
yeah.
alive.
Jodie
yeah.
Benson was Little
Yeah.
Mermaid.
Yeah,
Ariel.
Ming Na was Mulan.
Oh, she was the original?
All the originals were, except for the ones that are not alive anymore.
Wow. Who's your favorite Disney princess?
So, Mulan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's, my phone's on here, but she's my background on my
It's a great
phone.
movie. Really?
Yeah.
That's
I also
hardcore.
like that Pocahontas always had air and a breeze through her hair.
yeah, that's
indoors.
really like,
Hair was
yeah.
blowing in the wind.
And then they also
enjoyed
played.
that.
I mean, only somebody like me would catch this. I think because everybody I saw it with was like didn't even notice it. But when each of the Disney princesses would speak or attack or do something, they played the chord that was from their song.
Oh, I noticed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
Mulan,
amazing.
Mulan had the piece by Jerry Goldsmith. He did the
Yes,
scores.
and then Pocahontas had Colors of the Wind.
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
all did every single
Let
one.
It Go.
Yep.
Ariel,
They hit-
obviously.
every single girl had theirs
That's
in
so
there, and
funny.
I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
Because again, like you're throwing in old Disney vintage.
And thanks
history.
to what was her name? The
Jennifer Lee.
Jennifer
was
Lee.
the producer.
Hopefully we'll have her on the show soon.
Good luck.
Talk all about it. Yeah, we'll see. So guys, what's coming up? Do you what's in theaters that you want to see, Nick?
Well, you put me on the spot.
Sorry.
I have no idea.
Well, I put her on
I
the
don't know
spot
what's
earlier.
happening.
It's true.
There's movies.
Yes, movies are good.
I don't know what's
don't
coming
know.
out
Sorry.
that I want to see.
Oh, probably Aquaman. I'll probably see
Okay.
that on Christmas.
Yeah, that's a good. That's
I
a
don't
good
know what's
Christmas.
I mean,
Yeah,
Wreck-It
man.
Ralph. I was so excited to see
Beyonce
that.
like staring at Jason Momoa. It's a win-win.
He's so dreamy, right?
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You got eyes?
I think Ryan Gosling would have been a better Aquaman, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll
I
see.
like that they went the sort of the route with
Yeah.
with Jason Momoa, where he's
Yeah.
kind of more, for lack of a better term, ethnic
Yeah.
towards what you would imagine Aquaman being.
Yeah. Well, actually, guys, I'm sorry to cut you short.
Oh, of course.
But is there anything you want to plug real quick?
Well, my movie comes out in January, Brokenhearted the Movie. You can follow it on Instagram, or you can follow me at j.co100. I post all my cosplays, all my movies, all that.
Cool. Nick.
Wrestling podcast about wrestling. We're going to have Randy on eventually to talk about No Holds Barred.
Eventually, yes.
Eventually. Also, I have a baseball podcast called Nick's Nats Cast. Listen to that if you like baseball. And I'm on social media. My name, Nick Commando, no 1M.
Cool.
All that stuff. End of plug.
Awesome. End of plug. Thank you. And also, I want to just repeat that we've got a Magnitude event coming December 2nd at the Health, Wellness, and Business Expo at the Holiday Inn, Plainview, Long Island. For more information, go to hwncc.com. And yeah, that's our show. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank my guests, also Eileen Cohen-Reichman and Catalin Pota. Thank you so much, guys. I'm your host, Randy Unger. This is Unger the Radar, and we'll see you again next week. Take care.
Under the Radar is all new next week with more movie reviews and interviews on Strong Island radio and television. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.